assistant dean here. I'm also the boys basketball coach. I teach the high school physics. I'm really enjoying, despite all the COVID stuff, I really am loving everything that's going on with my new job. I want to welcome you to our annual sports awards program. Obviously, this year is a little different than what we've done in the past. Normally, we have all of our sports together at the same time in the auditorium. And that didn't happen in the first program. But for purposes of making sure that we're keeping everybody safe, we decided to spread everything out, bring it in here, give you plenty of place to sit, and we'll go through and hopefully have a great program. The first one went really well. As we're getting started here, a couple things I wanted to point out. Number one is how thankful I am that our athletes had a chance to participate in sports this fall. I believe, and I know our school does, that athletics is an important part of the educational process and the mission of our school. And for us to miss out on a season last year at the end of the year, and this one being the fall season being in question, I'm just very thankful that we were able to play, and everybody got a chance to go out there and show their talents and abilities and glorify God with all the abilities He's given them. I also want to thank a couple people or a couple groups. First of all the teachers, our coaches, the staff of our school, all of our families. This fall has been crazy, and I know that, but I appreciate your flexibility, your patience. There's been changes that have taken place on the day of a game, but I appreciate us being able, all you've done to support us as we've tried to go through this hectic time. Now, I also like to thank Mrs. Bacon for her help with the program that we put out tonight and all the items I'm sending out on news you can use in trying to just inform you of what's going on in the athletic program. Mr. Askey helped me clear our little pond that we had inside of our soccer field by buying a pump, and I'm pushing water and he's pumping it down to the pond, and that helped. I appreciate that. You have no idea. I also am thankful that he was willing to live stream a lot of our soccer games this year, and he's doing that again tonight. So I thank him for that. I also want to thank Lee DeHeer, who was our athletic trainer. He had to be very flexible as well. As I was saying, we got a game today. No, we don't. It's next Thursday. And so he was moving around. He put a lot of hours into keeping all of our athletes safe and taken care of. A few reminders as we're wrapping up the season. Number one, please make sure you get your uniforms washed and returned. I have a bucket out front if you have them tonight. If not, the bucket sits outside my office. You just put them in there in a plastic bag and I'll take care of them. But if you can get them in, it helps us as we're moving into the next season, have everything wrapped up. Also, all soccer teams were given a reversible that they are allowed to keep. They can use it for other sports during the year. So that was $10. If you haven't paid that, if you can get that to me, I got to pay that bill as well, because was sent to us back in September, when I'm going to try and get that taken care of. Okay? All right, I'm going to just give our guidelines for this evening so everybody knows what's happening. All right? Please remember to wear your mask and make sure we're giving ourselves plenty of space. I'm going to introduce each team and their coach. They'll all come up at the same time. The teams should line up on either side of the podium here on the white line and give themselves space so we can get a chance to get a good look at them, and also for safety purposes. And then the coach will talk about the team and give out the awards. Tonight we're giving out, or this year we're giving out 3 awards. The 3 awards are the Stewardship Award, the Player to Watch Award, and the Player of the Year Award. And all of the descriptions are written there in the program so that you can see what they're designed to honor. Okay? Also, normally the athletes get a certificate. with a little tiny team picture on it, and it has the year and all that kind of stuff. I decided we're going to go away from that, and at some point I'm going to give each athlete hopefully, they're going to get a team picture, but I'd also like to try and give them one of an action shot of them playing their particular sport that they can take with them. Okay, but that with our seasons running so late, because everything got pushed back and our program being now, we didn't get a chance to get all that taken care of. We're going to be working on that. Okay, the last thing here is we usually have senior testimonies, which are a longer segment of our program. I decided to go to a senior reflection this year and give any senior that played a sport the opportunity to say a few words to thank their coaches or to share with us some lessons that they learned or how God has taught them in their sport. So you're going to hear from 3 different people tonight, and then I have them somewhere in the middle of the program here. All right? So I'd like to invite Jaden Burrows up, who was a senior this year. He's going to be opening our program in prayer. Jaden Burrows.
Let's all bow our heads in prayer. God, thank you for letting us all meet here today, and that we can have a school like Philmont where we're able to meet in person, even with the complications caused by COVID, and that we're able to have a fall sports season. I know as a senior, a lot of people were hoping that we get to have it this year, and we were able to, and that we can all meet and not just celebrate our achievements, abilities, and friendships, but realize that they're all for your glory. Amen.
All right. Our first team that we're going to recognize is the girls' tennis team. They are coached by Coach Ron Bierma, who is a legend here at the school. I happen to have had him when I went to school here, and I have always been amazed at how meticulous he is with his courts. I actually had a chance to help him this year, which was kind of fun. And I loved getting out and watching the girls play. This has been a fun fall for me, getting around to see all the teams play. So I'd like to bring up Coach Bierma and the girls' tennis team.
I'd like to begin by thanking everyone who came to watch these girls play their home matches, especially the parents. I know that these young ladies appreciated your encouragement and the support that you showed by coming to watch them play. And I believe we had more spectators this year than we've ever had in the past few years, so thank you very much for that. And now it's my pleasure to introduce to you the ladies of the 2020 Philmont tennis team. Please step forward at the beginning of your introduction. Playing first singles. The youngest player on our team, playing the most difficult position, sophomore Kayla Suggs. Playing second singles, the quickest player on our team, and a feisty competitor, senior Amari Taylor. Playing third singles, one of the kindest young ladies you will ever meet, but who is not so kind when hitting her shots. In a good way, of course. Senior Kristen Becker. Playing first doubles. 2 young ladies whose shots became faster and faster as the season progressed. Senior Hannah Evans, who is here, and junior Talia Patterson, who is not able to attend tonight. And playing second doubles. A fearless net player, closest to me, joining forces with an ever-improving first-year player, seniors Kaya Bellamy and Caitlin Avery. To summarize our season for you, these ladies and I have chosen 10 things that we learned together as a team this season. Number one, we learned, as was necessary due to COVID-19, that it is harder than you think to pick up a tennis ball without using your hands, without touching it. Number two, we learned that throwing a football helped us learn the correct motion for serving. Number three, we learned what it means in tennis to poach and what to do if the other team is poaching. You can ask your player about that later. Number four, we learned that it's not a good idea to have Kristen and Kayla practicing their serves together on the same court at the same time. It just does not work. Number five, we learned that competition is less stressful when we remember that God has a bigger picture, and it helps us put less emphasis on winning or losing. Number six, we learned that Amari loves dogs and will stop whatever she's doing during practice to run over and greet any dogs that come by with their owners. Number seven, we learned during the Fall Classic that Mrs. Haddam misses playing tennis so much that she was willing to play tennis that day in her bare feet. Number eight, we learned that having a praying mantis on the court during a match, or two or three of them, can be extremely distracting. Number nine, Kayla learned that when playing all out against the top players from Delco Christian, you'd better have a backup racket in case you pop a string. And last but not least, number 10, we learned to be especially thankful to God for every day of practice and every opportunity to compete in a season threatened by COVID-19. Hopefully that gives you a good idea of what our season was like together. At this point, I would like to give special recognition to our departing seniors on the team, Caitlin, Kristen, Kaya, Hannah, and Amari. I will miss them all dearly, and I have a little token gift to give to each of them at this time. And now I'm going to transition to our three special awards. This year's Stewardship Award winner exhibited a positive Christian spirit in her matches and during practices each day. She's worked very hard this year and in previous years to develop all the skills that God has given her to the best of her ability. This was especially evident in her matches this year, which were much more demanding because she had transitioned from playing doubles last year to playing singles this year. Please join me in congratulating our Stewardship Award winner, Amari Taylor. This year's Player to Watch Award winner was intent every day, whether practicing or competing, to improve her tennis game. During one match, she was hitting her shots quite hard and fast, but many of them were going out. So I advised her to hit her shots a little softer, which she compliantly did for the rest of that match. But she wasn't content to stay at that level. Within a week or so, she had learned how to hit those very same hard shots and keep them in. Please congratulate with me this year's Player to Watch, Kristen Becker. Our Player of the Year is already well known by all the coaches in our league, even though she is only a sophomore. Well-crafted and powerful strokes mark her as a player to be reckoned with, and she came very close this year to qualifying for the district singles tournament, which is a very difficult feat. In spite of these accomplishments, she is very humble, And I look forward to continuing to watch her grow and improve the next 2 years. Please join me in congratulating our Player of the Year, Kayla Suggs. Thank you, young ladies. You can sit down.
All right, our next team is the girls varsity soccer team. They are coached by Coach Catherine Olinger. Coach Olinger is a graduate of Philmont year 2015, and I had the pleasure of watching her play in high school, and I enjoyed how she played. She played aggressive, and she was skilled, and she is bringing all of those same characteristics and the ability to relate well to her players and teach them in a kind and compassionate but energetic and competitive manner. And I'm thankful that she's leading our girls program and looking forward to seeing what they have in the future. So we have Coach Olinger and the girls varsity soccer team. Come on up.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's have one more person on this side. Let's have 4 on one side, 5 on, 5 on the other. And then spread out a little bit. Okay. Okay. Good evening. My name is Catherine Olinger. I can take this off. Okay. My name is Catherine Olinger. This is my second year coaching the high school girls soccer team. Just like last year, it was an honor to work with these girls, and it was this year particularly a blessing to be able to have our season. We'd like to say thank you to Mr. Dalton, our athletic director, for all the work he put in to making this season possible. We'd also like to thank our team parents for helping to drive to away games this year. Thank you to Mr. Askey for live streaming and recording our home games, and thank you to all of our fans for cheering our team on. So we can clap for them. I will now introduce the team. We're going to do this traditionally, where we start with the freshmen, work up. Freshmen get 1 clap after I read their name. Once I'm done with the freshman class, step back. Sophomores will get 2 claps after each name, juniors 3, seniors 4. Okay. From 9th grade, Ashley Erickson, Laura Chapman, Katie Tipton, Ayanna Washington. That was good. Okay. From our sophomore class, Jade King, Kayla Suggs. From our junior class, Deanna Otero, Malia McKay, Audrey Chapman, and Marshita Gilliard. Our seniors this year were Gracie McMahon and Emily Chi. This year's captains were Emily, Audrey, and Deanna. All the way back in July, our team started meeting for optional, socially distanced soccer practices, a sentence I never thought I would say. Back then we were optimistic, but we didn't know for sure if we'd get to play this fall. For 2 months, we weren't even allowed to challenge each other for the ball. There was no offense or defense, no scrimmaging. So we got creative, we did a lot of conditioning, and we used a lot of hand sanitizer. Once we were given the green light to compete, recruiting numbers became our biggest challenge. We had retained a strong group of players from last year's team, and we were excited for the addition of a strong freshman class. But there weren't enough of us, plain and simple. Ayanna Washington, a new student to the school and a first-time soccer player, answered the call, as did senior Gracie McMahon. And of course, Kayla Suggs again juggled 2 sports to give our team a boost whenever she could. Thankfully, because the BAL delayed the start of soccer season until the end of September, we had more practice time than we'd ever had before. Our team had the opportunity to continue working on foundational skills and to continue conditioning work well beyond just the start of our season. On a team without subs, often without 11 players, playing 80 minutes a game, this was crucial. It's part of why our small band of players hung in as well as they did. They were determined, they worked hard, they bought in, and I really appreciated it as their coach. Ask any of these girls, it wasn't an easy season. But I think we'd all tell you it was a good experience. First and foremost, we beat TCA in our Fall Classic home game, and handily. Second, we scored points against Delco and Doc, an improvement over last year's season. Doc Mennonite finished first in our conference. Only 3 teams scored against them in the regular season, and we were one of them. And we scored the first goal of the game. Third, our team got important experience playing together, learning to take pride in good passes, nice defense, spacing, and all other sorts of small victories. I'd like to share what another coach wrote about our team after a particularly tough, cold away game. And the girls have already heard this, so. He wrote, "I'm contacting you to commend your team for their overall character and perseverance in playing through today's entire game. If they were frustrated or discouraged, it was not observable in their attitudes, nor in their demeanor, as they continued to play. Playing shorthanded can feel like a helpless situation at times, and your team fought hard and continued to hold their heads high for the entire 80 minutes. Additionally, several of your girls verbally made a point to congratulate our girls as they walked off the field, showing class and sportsmanship. Please let them know that this was noticed by us, and of course by God, the ultimate audience. Thank you for that picture of humility and grace." So like I said, I already read that to the girls. I was pretty happy that another coach noticed their attitude. And I think they know that I'm really proud of their character and their perseverance this season. We want to improve. We want to come back stronger, faster, and smarter next season. And the work we put in this year is good preparation for the next. We even have someone ready to do next year's Falcons on 3 chant. Emily's been coaching Jade, and after some missed tries, I think Jade is ready for that responsibility. But as much as we're ready to look ahead, I won't forget our tiny but mighty pandemic team. Now for the awards. This year we had 3 players selected to the BAL's All-League teams. I'll read all 3 of them, and you can clap at the end. Earning first team All-League is junior Audrey Chapman. Earning second team All-League is junior Deanna Otero. And earning All-League honorable mention is freshman Laura Chapman. So that's having 3 players on the team, or on the All-League selection, is a quarter of our team, which is actually a pretty good percentage if you compare that to the other teams. The first of our team awards I'll be handing out tonight is the Player to Watch Award. This award goes to a player from our team who showed significant improvement both from last season to this season and from the start of this season to its end. New to the team last year, our Player to Watch made it a personal goal to develop a stronger kick, something which, through practice and determination, she has largely achieved and continues to progress in. She spent most of the season playing as a defensive center mid. Not an easy assignment on our team, but one that she has grown into. So much so that her teammates will fight me if I suggest moving her at halftime. This player has pushed herself to become a better runner, and she's made herself more and more strategically involved in both practices and games. This year's inaugural Player to Watch Award goes to Marshita Gilliard. Next, we have our Stewardship Award. This year's Stewardship Award winner is another returning player who really worked to become a better runner during the off-season. And even knowing that, I still asked her to play goalie. It isn't her favorite position, but she took it in stride, working to develop a longer and more consistent punt and throwing herself into harm's way for the sake of the team. Last year, she made appearances in goal. This year, she was a goalkeeper. When she wasn't in goal, our Stewardship Award winner was in another position outside of her comfort zone, playing as a left fullback. Again, she not only gave this placement her best effort, but she developed chemistry with her other backline players and instincts for defensive positioning. In a season overflowing with practices, she maybe missed one, and she never missed a game. She's a good example of that ideal jump from 10th grade to 11th grade, from being a player on the field to being a leader on the field. This year's Stewardship Award goes to Malia McKay. Lastly, we have our Player of the Year award. Our Player of the Year was our team's leading scorer, securing our big win at this year's Fall Classic. She also provided the free kick to send her sister for a goal against Delco, and she placed the corner kick that Kayla Suggs put in past Doc. 2 important moments for our team this year. She played everything, from center back to center mid to striker, depending on the day. After almost every game, at least one of the referees would stop by our bench to share just how impressed he was with this player's performance. I didn't even know referees did that. I thought they were supposed to be unbiased, at least outwardly. But this player's skill on the field is undeniably impressive. She plays well when we're evenly matched, and she plays well when we're outmatched. She's an intelligent player, a hard worker, and a kind teammate. Congratulations, Audrey Chapman. Thank you.
One of the things that makes this program special is being able to hear from our seniors as to how sports has impacted them at their time here at Philmont. So tonight we have 3 individuals coming up to give a senior reflection. We have Kristen Becker, Jay Suggs, and Amari Taylor. So I'm going to invite all 3 of them up, and they can share with you insights from their years here playing at Philmont.
Hi, everyone. This year has been not only a happy year, but a successful one. For the past 4 years of playing for Philmont's varsity girls tennis team has been absolutely a joy. One thing that I've learned is that every practice and every game, your teammates are always going to be there to support you and cheer you on and just encourage you all overall. They're some of the best teammates that I've ever had for these past 4 years, and I cannot thank them enough for the experience that they have given me. I also want to thank Mr. Birma for being the best tennis coach I've ever had. You have taught me so much. You have taught me to persevere and to do my best on the court. And lastly, I have learned that no matter what, we're all playing for the glory of God and that alone. And it doesn't matter if we lose a tennis match, but as long as we're playing to the best of our ability to glorify God, it's the greatest thing that we can do. Thank you.
Hello. She's going to make me cry. I would just like to first and foremost thank Mr. Birma who has allowed me to play on his team. And for a little bit of history, I started tennis last year, and I didn't even make it a preseason. It was kind of on a whim, and I was like, may I make it a practice? And he allowed me to. And I'm really glad he did, because it's been one of the greatest experiences that I've had in my life. And being a part of this wonderful group of girls who have encouraged me not only on the courts, but outside of school, in school, it's been such a privilege to develop these relationships with them. And, sorry. I have learned a lot from Mr. Birma. He has been such an incredible role model, and he has taught me so many things, as Mara has been saying, persevere, and to keep my eyes focused on God. When it's very easy, especially for me, to get very competitive and start playing for myself. So I appreciate his kindness and showing me that I should do all for the glory of God. So thank you. Sincerely, it's been a pleasure.
Hello? Oh, nice. I'd like to start by reading a verse from Colossians 3:17. And whatever you do, in word or deed, do everything in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father through him. So, I want to start way back, August 21st, 2020. That was the day when the PIAA released that we would be allowed to play. And before then, we were doing our favorite, not scrimmages. But now we knew we had a goal. We had a season. So I hopped on the phone, made some calls, got on the phone with Trev, and Trev and I had a good talk about what the season was going to mean to us and our excitement for the season. Then I had to think about, obviously the season being in danger because of COVID. I had to think, is this game going to be my last? And every game, that was the thought. It was, this game is going to be my last. So how am I going to give thanks to the Lord through this game? And sometimes that meant telling the guys to chill. And sometimes that meant holding my tongue. And sometimes that meant ripping more shots. My favorite. We won't talk about what happened with the shots, but I shot them. Really, I'm just so thankful to the Lord for getting to have a season, and really thankful for getting to spend it with this great group of guys. We had a lot of moments, starting with the non-scrimmages, and then moving on to concussion protocol, and going against some of the top offensive duos in the league, like Luigi and Jabril, they were quite fearsome. I want to give a shout out to Coach Bustos and Coach Chi. Thank you for putting up with us and all of our antics and all of our team chemistry issues. And thank you for pushing us and making us better players. I'd like to thank Trevor, my other captain, and the seniors, Nate and Jaden, for really being there, being the glue that holds the team together. I'd like to thank you guys, the fans, for coming out and watching our games and watching me shoot shots. And I'd like to thank the Lord. He's taught me so much through being a leader on this team. Taught me how to persevere, how to really lead the guys in a godly way, how to set a good example, not just in what you say, but in what you do, and putting other people before yourself. And I just want to thank him for giving me and giving the team this season. And lastly, I want to thank the team. Thank you guys for all the hard work you put in. You guys made this such an awesome season. And I just want to tell you guys, remember that in everything you do it for the Lord. And I know you guys have heard this a million times, but y'all kind of dirty. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Jay and Kristen and Amari. As you can see, sports goes much further than just at the playing field and has a big impact on their life and all of our lives when we get a chance to hear what they had to say and also see how they play. Our next team is going to be the cross-country team. Cross-country team was coached by coaches Ward Shope and Pete Tyson. Coach Tyson is a graduate of Philmont from 1998, and Coach Shope has had several children go through our school, and they have a long history, both of them, of cross-country. So they're going to be sharing their season highlights, and I was very thankful to have both of them coaching our team this year. We can have the cross-country team come up as well, so they're not lonely.
So let me start by introducing the team. We have freshman Ryan Tyson and Peter Haviland. Freshman Peter Haviland. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. These guys deserve a lot of applause, as you will hear a little bit more. And then juniors, John Shirley, Micah Rainwater, and we're missing this morning, or this evening, Moses Huang. So I'll talk a little bit about him a little bit later on. Our verse for this year was 2 Timothy 4:7, where Paul says, I have fought the fight, I have run the race, I have kept the faith. And what he's talking about in all of that is despite the fact that there is opposition without, despite the fact that circumstances are hard, despite the fact that there are even inner struggles within you, he persevered and endured to the end. And that's what it takes to be a cross-country runner. There's no easy way around it. You need endurance and perseverance. There's one event, running 3.1 miles as fast as you can. And that's across grass, that's up hills, it's through the woods, it's in the rain, it's against the wind, it's on muddy soil, muddy slick soil, and at the district meet this year through basically a pond in one part of the course. So that's what cross-country is about. It requires perseverance and endurance, and there's no way around it. And that's why it also requires a team. When you have a team of 5 like we did, every runner counts. It's not that every runner could count, it's that every runner does count according to the score. And so you have to cheer each other along, you have to encourage one another, you have to help each other endure and persevere. And these guys did a great job of it this year. Outwardly, our team was pretty chaotic at the beginning. We had 1 runner going into the season. And then we had, all of a sudden in about a week, 8 runners. And then due to injury and due to some who felt they needed to spend more time in their studies, we ended up with the team that we have here. But they were a great team together, got along well with one another. I want to thank a couple of them before we get to the awards. One of those is to Micah. Micah was really a soccer player this year, and you're going to see him come up a little bit later on. But Micah agreed to run with us so that we could actually score as a team. So Micah, you really made us a team this year, and we're very thankful for helping us in that way. And we also had with us Peter Haviland, also a soccer player that focused on soccer first and then cross-country second. He was only there for a few of our practices, but Peter really contributed in some significant ways during the races that he ran, so we were very thankful to have Peter with us as well. I also want Coach Tyson to come forward a little bit. He's standing in the background here, and he'll have his chance to speak in just a second. But as a first-time coach, I really needed someone who knows the ropes and could help me along the way. And Coach Tyson did that for me. He helped introduce me to all the procedures that were necessary for a race, got me oriented to the league, to the other coaches, and not only that, but he ran almost every practice. So really very thankful for all that Coach Tyson did for me and for our team this year. So would you please? Now I want to start the awards here. I want to talk about the Athlete to Watch Award first. And actually, it's Moses who's not here today, but I want you to hear this story anyway. Moses could hardly run 2 miles when he first started in the fall without walking. So I spent some time trying to help him along a little bit, and he would say things like this to me. I just wish I could just stop right now. Or he would say, I hope I get injured so I don't have to run anymore. Okay, so those are the kinds of things that would come out of his mouth, which I thought was very bold to be talking to the coach about. But as he went along, he actually gained strength, became a very consistent runner. We ran the first race of the year, and then we ran the same course at the league championships, and he improved his time by 5.5 minutes in 3.1 miles. That is enormous improvement. And so it was very great to have Moses. He's not here, but if you could just applaud for him here in just a second.
So first, even though we had a small group and primarily of 3 runners, we do believe the athletes receiving the awards are more than deserving, and none of them were given away by default, as you could tell from Moses's award. Stewardship Award. This runner was a bit slower on actually joining the team and making the commitment to be a fall athlete, but once he did, he was a much-needed addition to the everyday practices. Then at some point mid-season, something clicked, and his commitment to improve himself as well as his teammates took off. He had many strong practices, and his consistent hard work paid off with several good race performances, as well as knocking his time down significantly. His desire to beat me to the finish during practice also fueled his race day progress. I'm not sure where this need to take me down originated, but I was glad to give him the challenge and more than happy to accept the defeat. He's a natural enthusiast, and his constant encouragement to other runners was good for the morale of this small bunch, and he was the glue that held us together. He was also appreciated by competition, as he always offers a hand for a fist bump as he passes or gets passed by them. If you can draw a smile from someone in the middle of a 5K, you have a special gift. John Shirley is our Stewardship Award winner. That's 2 for 2 for the Shirley family. Congratulations. I had a special first-hand witness of our Runner of the Year's introduction to the sport of cross country and the progress he made. Despite the uncertainty of 1, having a cross-country team, thank you, Coach Shope, for taking on the position and allowing this great sport to continue at Philmont, and 2, having a season during the pandemic, he committed to training throughout the summer. He brought that preseason fitness base to early practices, and we never had to worry about his work ethic or commitment to stay in running shape, even while he missed a practice or 2 each week, being a dual athlete with soccer. He was a great example for his teammates during practice as well as on race days, as he was our top finisher in every race and took on those tough hilly courses head on. His progress through the season, as we faced the same team several times, was a joy to watch as he moved through the league ranks, targeting faster individuals each time. I could tell that some of the other coaches started using him for their runners to keep up with and target. This progress was a big reason we were able to start actually beating teams and having others watch their backs. He was a top freshman runner in the BAL, which bodes well for his future seasons, and he very well could be knocking on the door of state qualification as early as next year. Ryan Tyson is Philmont Cross Country Runner of the Year.
also want to just quickly thank Coach Dalton for the support that he gave me this year. Really important for a first-year coach to feel supported, and he did a great job with that as well. Thanks, everyone.
All right, we are down to our final team of the evening. That is the boys varsity soccer team, so they can start making their ways down with coaches Marco Bustos and Joseph Chi. I had the pleasure of getting to know Coach Bustos this year, and I enjoyed seeing his passion for the game of soccer and the way he supports and cares for each of his players. I'm excited to see how the program continues to develop under his leadership, and I just want to let him know that I was very happy with how this team was playing this year. You guys did a great job, and I like the intensity and the encouragement that was coming from each individual that we were playing with. So congratulations on a good year.
All right, this one needs to be a lot shorter for me. First of all, I'm old too, so. All right, first of all, I do want to thank Mr. Dalton for sort of being patient with me. I had a lot of questions as this was first time being the head coach. So I was often in his office asking him all the behind the scene, everything that went along with all the games. But I also want to acknowledge Dr. Chi for, I know he's laughing, but he's, he gave me he was just faithful, and just, he gave me a lot of guidance as to how to deal with these guys, But, I really appreciated him, and it was always comforting to know that he had my back. I also wanted to thank the parents who were out there cheering, especially the vocal ones. I was told, the boys came up to me, he's like, oh, my dad was yelling so loud. I'm like, yes, he's saying exactly what I can't say. So thank you. Please don't stop. It was just so great. Even our away games, just the parents just showed up and just they were a very loud voice and very encouraging. So I really appreciate that. So this past season, I was given the opportunity to coach the boys' varsity soccer team. I love the game, and it was pure joy to see this generation be as passionate for the game as I was when I was their age. They're a hard-working team. The scores never told the entire story of how much they improved throughout the season. Game after game, I saw tremendous growth, not only in our younger players, but also in the more seasoned players who pushed themselves to sharpen their skills and encourage fellow teammates to do the same. The wins against Plumstead and TCA were so significant, mainly because they showed that this team has the talent and determination to do great things. From Jaden's initial battle cry, to the gravity-defying saves of Nate, to the phenomenal goals of David, this was a fun season. Personally speaking, it was a privilege to coach this fun and funny, dirty, and energetic group of people. That phrase I heard over and over. I still didn't exactly know what it means, but I'm thankful for the opportunity to share my love for the games with them and truly hope that I was able to motivate them to be better athletes. So let me introduce to you the team, your 2020 Falcons. I'm going to start with the seniors, all right? We have two captains, Trevor, the impenetrable Tipton. If you can just step forward, yeah. Jay, the eye of the storm Suggs. And I name him that because it doesn't matter how chaotic the game was. He was just so calm in the middle of everything around him. Nathan, the wall Blackburn. Jaden, the warrior Burrows. The juniors, Mikhail, the legend Lillingston. Our backup keeper, Micah, ready for action, Rainwater. I don't know. And David, the magician, Olinger. And I call him the magician because you never know what trick he was going to pull out of his sleeves and just amaze us all. The sophomores, Ewan, target on his back, Chi. He knows why. Jake Jericho Haviland. I had fun with that name. Ask him why. Jeremy, the swift and quick Francois. Michael, the secret weapon Brian, who's, yeah, there he is right there. And Naeem Spencer. Our freshman, steady Eddie Pies. Peter, the fighter Haviland. Ryan, right place, right time, Tyson. You always know where to be. Luke, left hook Bell. Dwayne, the flash cuff. And Freddie Price and Gabe Williams. And now for the awards. So the Stewardship Awards given to the athlete who faithfully and consistently uses his God-given ability for the good of the team. This player exemplified these standards. He approached every game and every practice with respect and humility. He was always looking to improve his skills, asking me constantly how he could sharpen his touches, how he could be more effective in his position, and looking for ways to improve the team. He was a leader on and off the field, never criticizing teammates but offering advice and encouragement instead. Always calm, positive, and patient. I love when he led us in prayer, either after practice or a game. It's good to hear our young people pray, to know that they too realize our lives are meant to glorify our Creator, the one who gives us strength to run, kick a soccer ball, and find joy through sports. It is my great honor to present the Stewardship Award to Jay Suggs. The Player to Watch Award, and I took this literally. My first impression of this player was that of a very shy boy whose confidence in the game maybe wasn't very high, but I knew he had some good skills. At our first game against Jenkintown, when I told him I wanted him to play as a striker, he told me he wasn't good at that position, and then went on to score a goal. He scored a couple more throughout the season. Every game, he just got better and better. I look forward to seeing him play. He is a strong player who is not intimidated by bigger opponents, but holds his ground and makes very good decisions on the pitch. I look forward to seeing him how he develops into a skillful and talented player in future seasons. The Player to Watch Award goes to Peter Haviland. And last but not least, the Player of the Year Award. This player was a game changer. He completely changed the dynamics of the game and the team with his presence. He gave his teammates a sense of security knowing he was there. As a coach, I had full confidence that he would play well and come up big during difficult matches. An extremely talented player, I truly enjoyed his performance at every game. Hardworking, self-motivated, resilient, full of enthusiasm, and a humble leader. Always on his toes and ready for action. God gave him the gift of flying. He was MVP for many games and truly deserves the Player of the Year award. Please give a big hand to Nathan Blackburn. One more word for the boys. It is not a scrimmage. Thank you. Go Falcons.
We would quickly like to thank, as a team, our coaches, Coach Bustos and Mr. Chi, or Coach Chi, who we could They were great coaches, and we could tell they cared about our season and helped us improve a lot. So we got a gift for each of you, kind of far away, but here you go.
The couple last comments before we wrap things up here. It's already been mentioned earlier by several coaches, but I wanted to point this out again. We had 4 individuals who committed themselves to multiple teams this year, and I just wanted them to get recognized again. Each of them were given a schedule as to what practice they were supposed to go to, what games they were playing in. So we kind of sat down and talked about with all the coaches and figured out what's the best course of action to allow them to play and participate in 2 sports. So I'm not going to bring them back up, but I asked them to stand and just be recognized again, because it takes an awful lot of commitment to play for one team, but to play for 2 and help each other, help all of our programs out is something that I really want to recognize again. So we had Ryan Tyson, who played soccer and cross country. We had Peter Haviland, who played soccer and cross country. Micah Rainwater, soccer and cross country. And Kayla Suggs played tennis and soccer. So let's give them one more round of applause. All right. So if any of you have seen the news you can use, we are very thankful this week. We're very thankful that we were able to complete a fall season and everybody got a chance to play. And I also wanted to recognize the fact that we are moving into our winter season. That's coming up for high school. The first practices start November 20th. And I have some information in there about things that you need to do in order to get ready for that season. So I want to make you aware of that as we're together. The forms that you completed, your physical, the different waivers and things like that are all good for the rest of the year. So it's not necessary for you to fill them out again for winter, because once you do it, it's good for the whole school year. But I did want you to know that we're moving forward and we're excited to be participating in our winter season that's going to be coming up later this month. Normally, this is a time where when we dismiss, we go to the cafeteria and have ice cream sundaes and things like that. We're not able to do that this year, but we do have ice cream sandwiches that you can pick up on your way out. They are on the tables out in the foyer. So as you're leaving, feel free to grab an ice cream sandwich and some napkins. Enjoy your ice cream as we're wrapping up our fall season. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight, and I want you to have a great rest of your weekend. All right? Thank you very much.